What is up, guys? Welcome to the show tonight, Conspiracy Talks, episode 9. Rex Jones, Anthony Graffio. Anthony, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, my brother. Glad to do another show. Blessed to be here in this
Absolutely.
crazy world.
For sure. We're all grateful to God, to Jesus for being alive. These are such crazy times, especially in the West. We sit here and we're able to kind of talk about these events as they unfold, kind of from a 30,000-foot view because we're very far away from it. But at the end of the day, people are having their homes torched right now. They're losing their loved ones. They're losing their sons and daughters in a Holocaust, because a Holocaust means death by fire, right? And that's what's happening in Iran. So I've been covering the news pretty much all day, actually. I hosted the morning show. I now host American Journal 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. And I'm still going to keep up the twice daily streaming for you guys. I'm going to have to figure out my schedule a little bit, my sleep a little bit. We'll probably move things back 1 hour, but really happy to be here with you. And again, it's somber that we have to go through these events like we go through them. But Anthony, you're a really solid guy. I know you can handle it. How have you been feeling about the state of things since the last time that we talked?
Well, I kind of figured that this was going to happen. Trump is going to declare victory. Obviously, there's no victory at all. We're getting our shit kicked in.
Right.
Israel's getting demolished. The hits are getting harder. During Ramadan, I think that Iran was playing strategic defensive warfare by letting off Shahed drones, by lowering munitions, and now they're actually hitting offensively. Like we're seeing the destruction in Tel Aviv and in Israel becoming more catastrophic. Way harder hits. The Iron Dome is completely failing now, and all of our bases, Kuwait, all these regional areas are getting smoked as well. And I think that was Iran's plan. Like, we're going to use our drones, we're going to lower the munitions, and then we're going to really start striking, and that's what we're seeing. And this is why I think Trump, in his own crazy way, is actually waving the white flag, but just by claiming victory.
Dude. Thank you, Donald Trump. Thank you, Donald Trump. Taco Trump. Trump always chickens out. Please, just here's the thing. I know I've trashed you, whatever. I'm talking like he's watching right now. Maybe he is. You can't prove that he's not. It's not a 0% chance. There's some chance that he is. Listen, just stop doing this, man. Stop doing this. Take accountability for what you've done. Save what little value and heroism you might have left, and cut ties with Netanyahu. And let's just get out of here. We don't need bases there. We don't need to do this. We don't need to do that. The peace plan we're going to get to, it's a start. It's not an outright insult to the Iranians like other things have been before. But I just can't see, as much as I'd like to be positive about it, Anthony, I can't see it as anything more than a fake out.
I
And
agree with that. I
like
agree with that.
that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Because in the same way that Trump always chickens out, he comes back the other way. He's like a kid that wants to play but then doesn't want to play, that wants to play again. And that's like the worst,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah,
that's like the
yeah.
worst thing to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, airborne's being dropped off, like, any hour, like, so,
Yeah,
that's
like
not,
he's like, I want peace, 15-point peace plan, and thousands of troops are on their way. And I mean, there, I've consumed so much media on this at this point. Every single expert I've heard talk about it that doesn't work for the Trump administration, every single military expert, high level political analyst, they all say the same thing. It's just going to be a massacre, and if they take the island, that doesn't give them control of the strait.
Exactly. You know, I just made a video about this on Instagram, how Trump keeps on claiming that, "Oh, we took out their navy, we took out their navy." Iran
Right?
doesn't base their navy off destroyers. Like, we've talked about this. They have little fucking speedboats with
They have
missiles.
boats and they have missiles in the mountains and in the caves that they bring out and they put back in.
Yeah.
And Trump is just completely he's like stun locked. He's like Trump is defeated, bro. Dude, it's so ridiculous, man. I hate to use the liberal insults and terminology for him now, but they were kind of right about a lot.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah.
now the fun part is we get to use some of that stuff for our own interests.
For sure. Yeah, we've definitely built up all the lingos and terms to go against Trump now. But,
Well, no, don't worry. Orange W. Bush is going to save us all. Look at this. Breaking starting April 20th, literally starting 4/20/2026, because you have to be smoking something to do this. The U.S. Army will raise the maximum enlistment age from 34 to 42.
well, I don't think
42.
like, nah, I'm good. 42? Damn, bro. That's desperation right there. That's Vietnam desperation right there. Like, how far are we away from the draft?
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, and like I'm open about this. Like here, I'll cut back to center camera. Here, you're not a real American patriot. You're not a Navy SEAL. You can never cut it. You can never be on a warship. I don't want to be on a warship. I don't want to be a Navy SEAL. Congratulations. I don't want to go kill some kid in another country. Okay, I'm going to Mexico. This is the simplest calculation. That boy drive a Dodger. I knew he wouldn't go fight and serve. It's not my responsibility to go fight in a war for Israel.
Exactly,
Like
bro.
it's like you won't die for. I want to have. Like, I want to have kids. Okay, you're not. If you go die for Netanyahu,
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's the biggest cope ever that people are like, "You wouldn't serve. You never served." It's like, "Good. I don't want to." Like,
yeah,
I
I'm
think
just
you
not
guys are
interested,
retarded for
man.
it.
And
Yeah.
like there are a ton of super valuable people that have a high level skill set. And we need a military. We need strong people. Oftentimes, most of the time, it's not people in the military that'll say that to you. It's some fat guy on his couch, right? Who
Exactly.
just like supports the war, or like that
Exactly.
boomer, right? The boomer that I talked to. I've talked about this numerous times, dude. I got picked up for a Uber like last year, like fall last year, and it was like a 300-pound, like 65-year-old man with a very deep baritone voice. And I was like, you have a good voice. You should do radio. He's like, thank you. I appreciate it. And we started talking about politics. He asked me if I voted for Trump. I said yes. And then that's kind of the window into the insanity. He literally goes, so you go fight for Israel, wouldn't you, young man? And like literally asking me to die for Israel. And
No.
I'm sitting in the back seat of this car, and I can't say what I want to say because I don't want him to execute mission for Netanyahu, sleeper cell, and drive me off a cliff. I don't want him to get activated, dude. I'm terrified.
Yeah, I mean, any like real because I have a bunch of them that follow me on Instagram that are like real combat veterans, like Navy SEALs, Green Berets, ones that like really put in pain and work. Joe Kent is another perfect example. They
Sure.
are all against this war. They are all exposing Israel. They all hate the fact that they even went to war, that they ever fought these wars. Like a lot of them hold a lot of shame because of it. Obviously, there's like, they felt at that time that they were doing the right thing. It was admirable at that time. But now that they see the whole entire chessboard for what it is, they're like, bro, I am upset that I did this. There's a great video from the early 2000s of a bunch of combat veterans that are actually throwing their medals at an anti-war protest. Like they're taking their purple hearts, their brown hearts, and they're throwing them They're like, I went to Iraq and I killed children, like admitting like this is what traumatized them and put them through the PSTD that they went through. And like now they're facing this situation and saying like,
Right.
no, we
And
don't want this.
yeah, and that ties in perfectly to, and we won't go to it just yet. We're going to play it with a little more people in here. We'll give a teaser to the loyal people, the loyal listeners and viewers watching us right now. Adam Sosnick versus Dave Smith. They have this debate, and Dave Smith has made the point before, and Piers Morgan played a video of it to try to have a gotcha moment. And it's just a fact, which is crazy. And he's like, yeah, I think the United States is the world's biggest state sponsor of terrorism, which of course is true. Like
Facts.
on its face, is just totally true. And then the Adam guy, he goes, "So you're saying that all the brave men and women in uniform, you're saying they're the same as ISIS terrorists?" And it's like, no, that's not what he's saying, Adam. We've given billions of dollars to the worst terrorist organizations in the world and set them all up at the behest of our empire and Israel's empire. And
Yeah.
that's what he acknowledges. He recognizes that. Even worse than that, we've drafted innocent Americans into that, making them fight a war they didn't understand because they were fighting for other interests. Right. So when they get in a situation, God forbid, they unalive a kid, or they get an incident with a civilian, or something bad happens,
Facts.
they're being involved in a conflict they should have never been in. We should have been at peacetime. They should have been protecting the country, keeping us safe, not in actual combat deployment. People will say, you don't want them to fight. You have to preserve America. You're weak. You're a wimp. And it's like, no, 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 no. What if we took all the money, the 10 billion that we spent on these 3 different wars, okay, Ukraine and then Afghanistan and Iraq, okay, and you can combine money to make that 10 trillion number. If we had just spent that on like what China does, like having our own Belt and Road Initiative, making deals with other countries, being cooperative, we could have won. But we couldn't do that, could we, Anthony?
No, we couldn't, because this whole entire thing is set up for us to fail, for our country to fail, for Israel to become more powerful and grab more land, really. I mean, people talk about that Iran is the biggest sponsor of terrorism. Iran was literally giving money and weapons to basically like rebel groups that were protecting their countries, like the Houthis and all these other militaries that, were ran through Iran.
Right. But when you fight against the empire calls you a terrorist.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. Like
ISIS. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, ISIS, for an example, like, you use that example of saying like, oh, ISIS is terrorist. Like, are you saying that the American military is like ISIS? Well, the American military helped train ISIS.
Yes.
So it's like, yeah, I guess you're right about that.
They are literally like ISIS.
Yeah. Then. Yeah, they're trained by the same people.
Yeah, it's like, well, Mozart did teach him how to play the piano, but he doesn't play the piano like Mozart. Okay,
Exactly.
It's just a little bit different. And like, it's these games they play, and like, what did Hegseth say? Oh, it's such a great line. It's terrible, but it's like this is like a Shakespearean play or something. He says, "We negotiate with bombs."
Oh my God, yeah, that was so gay
okay.
today. Yeah, I saw that.
Well, it's ridiculous. Too much, and then. Look at, he really is disgusting to me now.
Yeah. And you saw Trump was like trying to blame him for everything. He's like, well, Pete said we should do it. It's like,
look at this. Look at this. We got the new DHS secretary. We got Mark Wayne Mullen. And this is the guy that was glad that Rand Paul got his ribs broken by the crazed leftist.
Freak.
He celebrated it, dude. And like, I think he pretended to be military as well.
He did.
And so we know it's a fake out. We think it's a fake out, at least. Wouldn't it be nice to believe in love and stuff like that when it comes to world politics? But it doesn't exist. Agreed. I'm going to read this really quick. So this is claimed. Suleiman is a trusted source. I trust his information. U.S. proposed 15-point plan. Remove all the sanctions. U.S. assistance in developing the civilian nuclear project, which they already have. Key point there, I saw people online going, well, what do you mean they hit Iran's nuclear site? They're targeting their civilian infrastructure. That's why they hit Israel's infrastructure as well. Just a little point of clarification there. Exactly. Point number 3, removal of the threat of sanctions being reimposed. So I don't know if that means no sanctions. I don't know what exactly that means. Frozen nuclear program under a framework. Enriched uranium to remain, but under supervision and agreed limits. I think they agreed to like 3.5%. or something. Eventually, like they came down to like the lowest number that was originally proposed. And Witkoff, when he initially was talking about all this stuff, he said like, well, there's some room here. We can find a number. And then it's like he got the call because of course he got the call. He's in the club, and then boom, no enrichment, no enrichment, no enrichment. They have civilian nuclear power. You need it for medical purposes. All of these things. Ultimately, it's a sovereign state. And people
Yeah.
don't like it when I say that. It's just like we want to rule everybody.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Also, what really made this whole situation boil over was they said they couldn't have a ballistic missile program. Like, it's one thing to say the nuclear stuff, and obviously that's bullshit enough, but then saying that they can't have any kind of weapon to protect themselves. Like, what?
Well, that's the Israeli demand, right? Is the plan or proposed thing I saw was you can't have more than 1,000 missiles, no missiles for 5 years, no building them, and they have tens of thousands of missiles and drones
Yeah.
left, maybe hundreds of thousands. God knows how many they have. Okay, and they're in such a strong position, and you see the MAGA people, you see them post all day and night about how it's like Hitler's bunker, and Hitler is dead, and Himmler is dead, and Goering is dead, and all the people are dead, and there are a few people. They're lone wolf attacks. Have you seen this? They call them lone wolf attacks. Clearly not.
Not at
Clearly
all.
not. Clearly not lone wolf attacks. Where's the other thing? But I mean, just what do you think about that? So they're okay with them keeping the enriched uranium. They say they want to talk about the missile program. They say no more nuclear capability, no expansion of enrichment, no production of weapons grade nuclear material, and then they want the IAEA back in. And keep in mind, the IAEA, if you remember, were the people that betrayed them in the 12-day war and got a lot of their people killed.
Yeah, fuck that. I wouldn't do that. I would definitely not do that. And you also have to remember too, like with the whole entire Iran side of things, is like what they're negotiating is they want no more wars. They don't want to be attacked anymore. They're like, if we get attacked again, then it's like we're going full out, And they're saying that they want reparations for everything that got destroyed in their country. And I forget what the other thing was. They had 3 things that they want. So it's like those are kind of a stalemate talking point on Iran's end, because I doubt America's going to give reparations to Iran. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, they want reparations in terms of kind of a tax going through the strait. I think it's like 100 billion a year if they like
Yeah,
tax every single boat $1 million. I don't think that's going to fly on the global market, but I think they could get something. I think they
I
could get some
hope.
sort of like toll or some sort of tariff fee. And I think a country like China really likes that because China doesn't want direct conflict with the US, at least not yet. They in the future, God knows what's going to happen. I'm not making a claim, but right now they want the more jujitsu Confucianist thing of like letting the monster destroy itself. Right. So
Yeah.
to them, looking at the US as a country that's really weaponized trade and has weaponized these tariffs and has done these things, wouldn't it be nice if over on the eastern side of the world there was something equivalent to that where they were having to pay a fee? I could very
Yeah,
easily
for
see that
sure.
happening. It's developing, so we can't say anything for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like China uses Iran like America uses Ukraine, you know? It's like as a proxy
Sure,
to,
but you think about China's situation. We have the Atlantic and the Pacific, and we have all this area. We have our bases everywhere. We have our ships everywhere. We protect global shipping. That's our excuse for being the police everywhere, being the world navy. China doesn't have control over its own South China Sea.
that's
China is
true.
surrounded by countries that are allied with us, like South Korea and Japan, that are hostile to them, at least tacitly, right? And then they've got the whole Taiwan situation. If you think about it, with what they're trying to do, they've had to expand on the land with the Belt and Road stuff and the IMEC corridor, and what they're trying to do in that area, which is why Iran is so important. They've had to expand over land because they can't really expand over sea, at least not yet.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, just thinking about stuff here. But we'll go ahead and go to this from Raw's alerts. China is actively mapping the ocean floor as part of broader preparations for potential submarine warfare with the U.S.
That will not be good.
No,
That will
and a
not be good.
submarine is the most dangerous weapon on the planet.
Yeah, that will not be
You,
good.
people don't get that. And I've heard Lawrence Wilkerson talk about it. This is the most dangerous place in the entire world for submarine warfare.
Why?
something about the salinity, like the depth of the water, the current, stuff like that. Apparently, like it messes with the sonar. So you could have two state
Uh,
of the art subs like next to each other, like 1,000 meters away, and they wouldn't know it.
fuck, that's not good at all.
No, it's not good. And here's the thing. I'll go ahead and get into this. I'll see what we got next really quick. Oh, this is good too. Here's the main thing. Whenever I see people online, whenever I argue with people, maybe there's someone watching this right now that like passionately is like, yes, pro war, I love it, more, more, more. When I think about all of this, and I see the people saying that, like we're winning, we're crushing them, we're destroying them, it's all going to be over soon. You don't get to decide that. You
No.
don't get to decide that it's going to be over soon. That's what all the politicians have always said about everything bad since the beginning of time. So all these people
Yeah.
online, they parrot that and they're like, well, we're defeating them. It's almost over. They got nothing left. Lone wolf attacks. It's like, you don't know that. Like your fat butt is sitting in Tampa, in Wyoming, in New York City. You're not in Iran. You're not in Israel. You don't know what's going on ultimately. And whatever our government is telling us is definitely a lie.
Big
So like
time.
if the government was telling us the situation was bad, I would believe them more.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I kind of had this conversation with my dad because my dad is just falling for this propaganda. Like, we're beating them, we're beating Iran, and all this stuff. I'm like, you're not seeing the perspective from, from the global side of things. You're only watching what you're being gaslit by Trump and these fucking retards. Excuse my language, but that's exactly what they are. It's like you're not seeing what's actually happening. They're first off, they're hiding all the hits that are happening. They're not showing any of this stuff on American TV. So you only have one side of the propaganda wheel, It's crazy. It's crazy to think my own family falls
Absolutely.
for it, dude.
But don't worry, because Trump polls at 100% with quote unquote MAGA Republicans, and the way that works is they say, "Are you a MAGA Republican?" And they say yes or no, and if they say yes, they say, "Do you support Trump?" And if you're self-identifying as a MAGA Republican, of course you're going to say that you support Trump, right? Vast majority of these people, because people that used to be MAGA, like me, like you, I don't wear a MAGA hat. I don't subscribe to that label.
No, no. The only reason I ever voted for Trump was because I actually believed he was going to do something with like the deep state. I got tricked by the QAnon thing and I believed that he was going to be an outsider and all the bullshit that they fed me. But he's literally the same as every single one of them, probably worse. At this point, he's worse than Biden.
Definitely, because he knows what he's doing at the end of the day. Like
Yeah.
he's aware of his behavior.
Yeah.
So when we look at Trump, and here's the thing, like we talk about like international Jewry, we talk about Zionism, we talk about Zog, all the keywords, okay, everything that gets us deboosted and deplatformed, because
Yeah.
that's a big reality and a big part of everything that's going on. And I know that you have a thing where you believe like it really is all preordained, that this is all 100% scripted. I think there are parts of it that are scripted, like these people and their behavior and how they're kind of chosen for these political roles and for office before they get elected, decades and even when they're born. But there is an element to it where I think there is personal responsibility and accountability and humanity, even with Trump. And Trump chose to do this. Like, because if he didn't do it, if you come out against this stuff, you were the most, I don't care if they shoot you in the head the next day. Like you're the new Pope of America, basically.
Yeah.
Anyone that would have bucked this system. But why wouldn't he do it? I mean, he really wants to hang out with these people, I guess. Maybe he is like Biden, but I mean, everyone he's campaigning for now, everyone he's endorsing, he's losing races right now, the special elections and whatnot. We're going to get into that a little bit. I mean, do you know anyone right now that's a passionate supporter that's not just terminally online?
It's mostly people that are terminally online and they're paid. They're shills. So it's like you can't really go like if you go and talk to people in real life, nobody really supports Trump anymore, like because at the farmers market, for example, like we would talk to people about Trump and all this stuff, and the conversation's completely changed. People are like, I regret voting for him. He's an Israeli shill. He's a war hawk. So it's only like the cat turds and the Gunther Eaglemen and these people that are either, Israeli shills or just paid MAGA bots, But the real consensus of people, they don't support Trump anymore. I think Trump's going to get steamrolled in the midterms.
Yeah, I think that's just a reality. Like gravity exists, and the pin falls when I drop it. Like they're gonna lose the midterms because they broke every promise they made. I mean, here's the thing: the people they got on their team. I mean, let's just take Misfit Patriot for an example. And I'm
Oh
not gonna do
God.
hold on, I'm not doing ad hominem because I don't need to do ad hominem. He made a video where he's driving in his giant lifted truck on the highway without a seatbelt on, filming, doing like a POV video with his phone, laughing into the camera about the gas prices going up. It's, what is that, an extra $30 a week? It's like that really matters for a lot of people right now. And it's a lot more money than that, to be honest with you. And it's only going up from here. You don't get to say, oh, well, this is going to end soon just because I say so, because Trump's going to be in charge. This is what I was saying earlier about not being able to like decide these things. These people, they act like they're God. Like they act like they know the future. Literally. They're like, it's what are you worried about? You're not informed on President Trump and how he can levitate and walk on his hands. You don't know he does that every day. When he wakes up, he that's how he works out with RFK. They both do that. You're like, oh, like he's a 79-year-old man. He probably has trouble getting up off the toilet. No, 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 no. He beat up Israel Adesanya in a fight. You had to see it. Like that. That's what
Yeah.
we're hearing from these people.
Yeah, and like the gas prices thing is just another blow to everything else that is stealing money from us. You know what I mean? Like we're we're in a recession. We've been in a recession since Biden.
Yes.
We just won't admit it.
Year.
Yeah,
Year plus.
yeah, we
Yeah.
won't admit it. Like people just don't have money like that. We both own businesses. We see our sales. Like
Yeah,
they're not doing
people
good.
aren't
I'll be
buying, even
honest.
if you got a great product, and like that's why we'll plug a little bit on later on in the show. But like ultimately, we've always done like a budget premium, trying to get people the best deal, the best like highest quality product at the price that's a win for everybody. And I just watched at the end of 2024, it just went off a cliff.
Yeah,
It just went off a
same.
cliff and it never recovered. And like that's a reality for people. But it's okay for Misfit Patriot because he's making the 7,000. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. Guy's a clown, dude. That's
yeah.
another. That's another guy you should destroy in a debate.
Dude, Harrison did a debate with him, bro.
Yeah, I saw that, and
He
I
just
think
got Misfit Patriot was nervous and got really drunk because Alex Stein is a whiskey sponsor and there's a whiskey bottle on the desk. And like a 16-year-old that thinks that it's cool to like get drunk in front of people. He's like, oh, I'm gonna keep taking swigs of this. I'm a big guy. I'm a real man. I put tile in bathrooms, and he just keeps drinking and drinking and drinking. And eventually, he's like,
yeah,
like it's.
yeah,
I'd be happy to, man. I'm just so tired of it because, like, here's the thing. It's like you're arguing with like a wax statue or like an animatronic or like one of those people at Disney that has to pretend to be like Goofy or Minnie Mouse, right?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's, it's like it's not real, right? There's not a real thing going on. And if you took off the costume, the person's just be like, I'm not this, right? And these people are not this. They're not smart. They're not educated. They're not politically informed. They're propagandists at the end of the day. And they're pretending to be something which they're not, which is legitimate.
Yeah,
And
I
that's what
mean,
Trump is. He's illegitimate. I want to play the thing of him, but go ahead.
yeah, no, I mean, just back to the Misfit Patriot thing. Like, the only people that are supporting him are just Israelis because he's just such a shill for Israel. Like he's not getting supported by anybody in America. Like people that are even MAGA think that guy's a fucking clown. You know, like I'm not
He's a
gonna go
real
ad
nigga.
hominem in it. Yeah, I'm not gonna go ad hominem on him, but
MIGA. My
you know,
nigga. For
Mega.
real, dude. Dude, what up, bro? What up, my nigga?
Oh
Dude,
God.
so I'm driving on the highway. I have no seatbelt on. I'm gonna laugh at you about your gas prices. I'm just gonna. All right, I've reacted to this way too many times. We're gonna watch it a little bit.
All right.
Like I literally, I tweeted about it. It got like 175K views, and it got like
Damn.
5K likes. And then I did the same tweet again, and it had nearly the same response. Like people see this, and like this will be played for decades. This will be a part of memes and compilations of all the crazy neocon people that we thought didn't exist. It's like finding out dinosaurs are back.
Yeah,
Literally,
he's like basically the people that like in COVID that were wearing like fucking like crazy shit on their heads.
Bubble
Like,
Boy.
yeah, like they'll post him for the neocon side of things.
Oh my God, guys, I just filled up my truck and it was $80. Is that really worth taking out the world state sponsor of terrorism? Like, I mean, is it really worth it? I mean, I usually fill it up and it's like $60. I'm spending an extra $20. I fill up probably once a week, maybe like 1.5 times a week. That's like $30 extra a week for the past like 3 weeks. I don't know. Like, what? Oh my God. Is that really worth killing the same people that funded the deaths of thousands of Americans? Yeah, you fucking idiot. Yeah, it's worth it. You fucking Oh my God. Gas is a little bit expensive. I don't know. Where the fuck were you for the past 4 years under Biden?
Oh my God.
See, it's all Biden's fault. What about Biden? Look at Biden. We elected this person to be better than Biden. Ultimately, Americans, when they vote, they care about domestic policy. They don't really care about foreign policy. This is well known. It's like you can't be like to the average American, this is like you're telling them like a story about Star Trek, right? Like what's going on in Iran. Like they don't know about it. They don't care about it. They care about gas and groceries and being able to take care of their kids.
Yeah. Yeah, no one wants this war. There's no point of it. Like the whole entire situation, like from the beginning, was about the nuclear stuff. There was already a fatwa against these weapons. So
Right.
it's
There was
like,
a ban and we killed that guy. We killed the Ayatollah who banned the nuclear weapons. It's almost like we want them to try to get him so we can let Israel destroy them.
yeah. And then the whole entire regime change things, obviously that failed completely. There were so many people that told me, oh, it's going to be over in 24 hours. They're going to kill the Ayatollah. And then the Iranian people are going to go uprise and there's going to be the Shah's coming back. It's like, bro, no, it's not ever.
Dude, the Squidward guy. Oh,
Yes.
dude.
Yes.
Dude. The things on X where they make his
Nose bigger.
Yeah, just like progressively over time. Like
It's hilarious.
dude, like what is going on? Because like we got people like that, and they say like, ooh, maybe we want him, but Trump's like, I don't know, I don't think the people like him. I don't think they like him very much. So that seems like that gets squashed. But ultimately, Netanyahu has said over and over again that this is a regime change war. Trump himself has admitted it a couple times. Like they're trying to get new leadership in there, trying to appoint people. Trump has even claimed that I'm talking to somebody. They don't know. I can't say it because, and he's like, they'll kill him. But who's they? Is like, is it us? Is it we'll kill him if they're found, or will the Israelis kill him? I think it's all BS.
Yeah. Yeah. He was saying that today. He's like, well, it actually was a regime change. We killed everybody. So now there's a new regime. It's like, it's the same IRGC, bro. You didn't regime change. You just killed some of the guys that want to die. They want to die in battle. That's like that's
the
their
key thing. And that's completely foreign to Trump's brain. I don't think he understands religion at that level.
Yeah.
I don't think he, like, I'm sure he believes in his Talmudic magic and all of that. But I'm sure it's more of an ignorance. And that's why I say more ignorance and self-choice is a factor with Trump. Trump always has handlers and people around him. Right.
Exactly.
And this is what we've truly discovered with people like Lutnick, people like Kushner, people like Witkoff. These are the real controllers. You think about the audacity of Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff, unelected, purely appointed by Trump, no governmental background, no history of civil service. They're the ones that go over to Ukraine with Larry Fink and divide up the corpse of that country. Disgusting. They're the ones that lie about negotiating, and then Iran gets struck and stuff like this.
Yeah, I wonder if they have an agenda at all.
No. There is no third temple until we rebuild it, and then it will be there, and then it's perfect, and you can't do anything about it. That's kind of the trick they're trying to do. But we're going to go ahead and roll parts of this. We'll jump around it. It's long. I haven't seen any of it. You said you watched it. Did you watch highlights of it, or did you watch the whole thing?
I watched mostly highlights. All
right, let's just he usually starts off strong. And by strong, I mean evil. So I gotta mute myself. Anthony, feel free to talk anytime. Tag me in if you want my commentary.
All right, cool.
Let's take a listen.
You know, we have the safest border we've ever had. We have a lot of assets, but a lot of things we can do, and we're going to do. We have to get criminals out of our country that were allowed in by Biden. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, do you support what appears to be a merging agreement coming out of the Senate to reopen
Well, I'm going to
DHS?
look at it, and we're going to take a good hard look at it. I want to support Republicans, and sometimes it's awfully hard to get votes when you have Democrats that did that 9-1. I don't think it's. What do you think, Pete? Do you think it's 80-20? I think so.
Funding from the DHS funding package in order to reopen.
Well, they're working on all of that. Use that, and they weaponize government. They
Keep going.
the other side. I can tell you, they'd like to make a deal, and who wouldn't if you were there? Look, their Navy's gone, their Air Force is gone, their communications are gone. That's the biggest problem. It's very hard to communicate them between themselves. All of the anti-aircraft is gone. Most of their missiles are gone. We either shot them or they shot them. And
Lies.
Okay, so if all the missiles and all the air defense are gone, what happened to the F-35, Donald? What happened to the F-35 that had to emergency deploy its flares because it was about to be hit by a thermal tracking missile, got hit by shrapnel and had to crash land and is now totaled essentially? See, they have no air defense. It's gone because he says it's true.
Yeah. Also, a thing that people haven't really paid attention to is the Gerald Ford is out for months because of a laundry fire. Now, maybe his morale is down and like actual sailors started a fire, but the IRGC, like a week ago, was claiming that they hit the Gerald Ford. So what's true here?
We don't find out until years after the fact, but I've seen speculation that it was either a crew member started fire, direct sort of serious mutiny that they had to leave and take care of. And like, ultimately, how do you punish people like that and keep it secret during a time like this? I think the administration is in complete panic mode. I mean, there are tons of casualties we don't know about. There are tons of destroyed assets that we don't know about. There's so much being hidden right now in the effort of preserving the image of pure and total victory.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 16 jets, I believe, got hit. That's the.
Oh, that's not a big deal. Don't be a panicking, but I'll play the rest of it.
Yeah.
don't have them anymore. They're down to a trickle. They're pretty much everything they have is gone. I don't know. Can you name one thing that's not gone, or can you name one thing that's doing well? If you read the papers, you think we're tied. You think we're in a tough battle. We are roaming free over Tehran, the city, Tehran, as opposed to Iran. We're roaming free. We can do whatever we want. And as you know, today we were going to have the privilege of shooting down a very big electric generation plant, one of the biggest in the world.
Scum. Straight scum.
Did he say we're going to have the pleasure or the honor of blowing up the civilian power infrastructure?
Disgusting.
We're going to have the honor of doing the war crime. Like, people will defend President Blumph. They will defend the peace president. And it reaches a level as to where, like, I'm new to this. I really am, even though I have background in doing this. I'm back to doing media now. Only been doing it really for 6 months. Like, I feel like I could debate anybody. It's like anybody that's pro, like, you have to defend this. Like, how do you feel about the president celebrating a war crime and saying it's going to be an honor or a pleasure to do it, to blow up the power infrastructure? You do realize that's illegal, right? Hey, how do you feel about the president blowing up an elementary school? You do understand that's illegal, right? Like, how do you argue against that? And also, how is that not terrorism?
It is. It's
right.
disgusting. Yeah.
So what terrorism is, at the end of the day, is asymmetric warfare. And what the U.S. has tried to engage with the Iranian population, the civilian population, with that definitely not accidental attack on the schools, try to lower morale, try to crush the people to accept the empire. Right? So it's so crazy. I'll play the rest of it.
And one shot to the right location ends the plant, it collapses. And we held off based on the fact that we're negotiating.
What do you think was the turning point to make you want to pursue a ceasefire? A few days ago, you said you wanted to continue bombing Iran. Now you want to pursue peace talks. Was there something
the fact that they're talking to us and they're talking sense? And remember, it all starts with they cannot have a nuclear weapon. Just, I said yesterday, they said, what are the top 10? I said, well, number 1, 2, and 3 is they can't have a nuclear weapon. And they're not going to have a nuclear weapon. And we're talking about that. And I don't want to say in advance, but They've agreed they will never have a nuclear weapon. They've agreed to that.
How do you ensure they won't have a nuclear
Your former Border Patrol chief, Greg Bovino, said his only regret is that he didn't catch more illegal aliens. What's your reaction to that?
Who said that?
That's your former.
You don't need to be a tech.
It's kind of tiring watching Trump. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. I'm kind of tapped out on that. I kind of want to watch Dave Smith because it's going to be more fun. I mean, how many times, Anthony, are we going to watch him say the same garbage? How many times we watch him declare victory? How many times we say, "Oh, there's a peace plan"? How many times, "Oh, we're winning"? Like it's the same thing.
Well, it's because he's a liar, you know, and when a liar lies, they have to continue the lie, you know, so they'll say the craziest shit just to keep the lie going. You know, he can't concede and be like, well, you know, we actually didn't take out everything. They still have missiles. I mean, just a normal person can see that Tel Aviv got hit the hardest that it ever got hit today after he said that there's no missiles. Like, pure destruction happened today in Tel Aviv. They're hiding it. Kuwait got rocked. Their airport got rocked. So to say that there's no missiles, that there's no drones, that's just not true. It's a complete fabrication.
Sure, I couldn't agree more. I really couldn't agree more. That's what they're all in the business of doing, and Trump's the best at it. Unfortunately, he fooled all of us at one point or another. And that's why we're really here. You know, that's why I'm here doing the atonement for that, doing the daily coverage of like what he's responsible for, and ultimately for our ignorance, what we're responsible for too. Cause like this is really tough to witness. You know, you can point at, you know, a past historical atrocity or something. You can say, I didn't have a part of that. I wasn't guilty of that, whatever. We all voted for this person. This person killed 180 little girls and their school teachers. And that will be discounted as time goes on, as the conflict gets bigger, as there are more deaths, as there are more American deaths and whatnot. People will primarily talk about that and why that's an outrage. But the beginning of this war, sadly, or not sadly, because we're not going to let it happen, but they're going to attempt to cover that up, to make sure that's just, you know, an anecdote in history. And we can't let that happen. Pete Hegseth is a war criminal. Donald Trump is a war criminal. Everyone involved in that attack that either let the AI plan it, didn't do the proper threat assessment beforehand, didn't double check their notes before they double tap that school. Everyone responsible for that is going to have to pay.
I agree. I totally agree.
Indeed. But I want to talk about this now. I want to talk about these individuals. I got to find the right spot to jump in here. This is pretty long. Let Trump cook. All right. So I have the highlight. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play, and you know, I'm just going to roll it. I'm going to roll it from where it's at.
Campaign. The majority of Biden supporters still supported him, you know, and like there was still going to be like 40-something% of the electorate would have voted for Joe Biden. Now, that wasn't enough, though, and that's why they forced him out, because you need a coalition to carry you here. So this comes down to like how you're defining MAGA. If you want to say Joe Rogan and Theo Vaughn and Andrew Schultz and all these guys, they're not MAGA. Well, okay, but they were relevant enough for Donald Trump to go on all of their shows in the campaign. And the point is that the coalition that got Donald Trump elected in 24, that got him for the first time ever to win the popular vote, that coalition has been destroyed. And the final thing I'll say is this, Pierce, I made this prediction on my show the other day, but right now you kind of have these two, broadly speaking, camps, say Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, maybe people like me, who are saying the coalition has been destroyed. And then on the other side, you have people like you played Bacha, Ben Shapiro, who are saying, no, the coalition is fine. What we've learned is that Tucker Carlson doesn't matter. Give it a couple months, Pierce, and I promise you, everyone on that side will say the coalition has been destroyed and it's Tucker's fault. This is going to tank Donald Trump's presidency. We're already past the point of that. The Democrats are going to win the House and the Senate. It's going to be impeachments and subpoenas and investigations for the next 2 years. And I don't think anyone from this administration can win the presidential in 28 at this pace.
Right. Well, Adam, you're part of a very successful podcast. Patrick Bet-David's been a regular on this show, as have other members of your great team. And, you know, I would say just from a personal, you can only judge it personally, I guess, but I've been on some of the biggest TV shows, mainstream TV shows you could think of, right? America's Got Talent for 6 years. Britain's Got Talent. I replaced Larry King at CNN. They aired my show 3 times a day in America and around the world, and so on and so on. And what's been fascinating to me in the last couple of years is I get more people come up to me in the street, wherever I am, whether it's New York, LA, London, Sydney, the Middle East, whatever. More people come up and they're
bragging.
Yeah, right.
Okay, come on. I get recognized so much more nowadays. Like, all right. Just a quick pause. All right, come on, Pierce. Enough. We get it.
Glazing himself,
dude. Aura farming, trying to.
Yeah.
Bit younger than came up when I did any of those shows, and they're all coming up about my YouTube show, and they're all watching it avidly, and they're watching other shows like yours, like Dave's, Tucker, because they talked to me about all this. I had 2 guys last week from Denmark, 19, I think.
There's a contract most retail traders have never heard of. It's called XSP. It's not a stock.
Been a little while, and thank you for dressing up, Dave. The question that you're asking is, are young people watching social media and they're watching YouTube? Obviously, duh. My mom still watches the news at 8 p.m. and if she misses it, that's it. She doesn't see it. She hasn't figured out how to get on social media. She still tries to ask me how to find me on YouTube and on Instagram. But yes, the 35 and under crowd is on social media. And I'll tell you an anecdote. I'm a registered independent. I'd never would voted for Trump. And then I, had common sense and realized, do you vote for Trump, who might be brutish and an a-hole, or you vote for a weak, feckless, I wouldn't even call it leader like Kamala. And obviously the choice is pretty easy. But I would debate with my liberal friends, one that was very, very, very tight with the Clinton people, part of the Hillary campaign. And he noticed as I was starting to become more, let's just say, less Trump hating. This is in 2023, 2024, run up to the election. And then he goes, dude, I don't even know what happened to you. You're like full on MAGA now. I go, no, I just have common sense. I see what's going on the radical left. And it's so.
Now, what he means by that, by seeing what's going on in the radical left, what these people will say, it won't be anything that we care about, like gun rights or free speech or anything like that. He'll be like, these protesters at colleges support Hamas.
Yeah.
What's going on with the left? I'm on the right now because they're slaves to Israel. Like that's why he's quote unquote on the right now. And that's what I would say to his face.
Because it's 1000% on the money. He's just a Jew that have special interest because Trump is a slave to the Jews. Like, this is what it is. Shout out Dave Smith, though.
I'm very important. I'm very smart. I'm a very intelligent man. I mean, Dave Smith, you think America is terrorists when they do everything we want and everything we want is good? That's ridiculous. All right, I'll play the rest of it.
So un-American to me. And he goes, yeah, you're just in your little YouTube world. I'm in the real world with the real politicians and the real polls. I got the real stuff going on. I go, hey, buddy, his name is John. I go, John, this is the real world now, guy. Yeah, well, we'll see. So obviously we see what happens in the election. This is not the type of person that likes to apologize, right? Comes up to me and he goes, Adam, I was dead wrong. You're right. This is a new YouTube world. Congratulations on all your success, Pierce, and welcome to the YouTube world. It is what it is.
Okay, well, we're sort of in broad agreement there. Let's get to broad disagreement, I suspect, which is the way this war is playing out. I mean, Dave, I've really struggled to work out the upside for Donald Trump from the start of this. doing this so close to the midterms, doing exactly what he said he wouldn't do, which is he was going to stop, attacking Middle Eastern countries. It was all going to be America first, a premium on sorting out American problems in America. And then suddenly he launches a war on one of the biggest countries in the Middle East, certainly one of the best armed. And all hell has broken loose, not least to the global economy, which is inevitably going to have, and already is having, a very detrimental effect on living standards for average Americans. If I'm an American that voted for Trump, I'm like, I don't get this. I might in a poll say, I get it, but I don't think I really get it.
Yeah, and then you also have to consider there, Pierce, right? Like there's a sizable percentage of people who support Donald Trump, who approve of the job broadly that he's been doing, who maybe, look, we're 3 weeks or whatever into this, go, all right, I'll kind of give him a chance. We'll see. But if this doesn't turn into any type of win, and if it turns into a clear disaster, which it already seems to be, that's only going to hurt him more and more and more. I think, look, Pierce, it's despite the fact that it is not in my incentives in some way as like a political commentator, like I hope this whole thing just works out great. And then I know that all the people who don't like me will say, ha ha, you were warning that this would be a disaster. I hope that I would much rather take that deal and live in that. But Pierce, the other element there is that, right, we had the 12-day war in the summer. And I've certainly heard, I heard at the time, some on debates that we did on your show and others. And I've heard nothing but since then on social media that, you guys were so stupid. You were warning about exactly what we're seeing right now, which is what all of us were warning about who are critics of the 12-day war. But Iran didn't do that. And they were like, look, we got away with it. One and done. No Americans dead. And that's it. We don't have to do anything else. They spent the following 6 months bragging about how the nuclear threat had been totally obliterated. Now we find ourselves, Pierce, back in this same situation. And as I mentioned last time on your show, the big picture here is that clearly the calculation changed for Iran. They no longer feel that it's in their incentive for self-preservation to not strike back and kill Americans or not do maximal damage. And now, clearly, with a younger, more radical Ayatollah who has not promised to not build nuclear weapons, they've made the calculation that actually they can't not give us a bloody nose, that they have to really make this cost us. Otherwise, we'll be back in another few months doing it again. And of course, at the beginning of this war, Donald Trump said this was a full regime change war and called for the people to rise up and overthrow their government. And the people did rise up, Pierce, in support of their martyr Ayatollah and in support of this regime. I know you saw some of those aerial shots. There must have been hundreds of thousands of people out in the streets in Tehran, in the most liberal part of the country, supporting the regime. So I'm sorry, at this point, this just looks like a catastrophe. And the best we can hope for at this point is that it only ends up killing like 10,000 people, and it only ends up costing tens of billions of dollars rather than the 200 that Secretary Hegseth has asked for. And this all relies on two major factors. Think about this, Pierce. It's not just that Donald Trump has to call it quit and declare victory or whatever, but then we got two other entities that are majorly involved in this war, Iran and Israel. Now, we know at this point, Iran is saying they're vowing not to stop. They talk a lot of bluster. Who knows? Maybe they will. But Israel, Pierce, we all know they want the regime change here. In the 12-day war and in this war already, they've hit targets after Trump has clearly asked them not to. Who's to say they don't continue doing that? And it begs a real question of how we get out of this quagmire. Yeah, 3 weeks in, we're already there.
Right. So, Adam, you've had a little spat with Dave on social media. When he called it an illegal war of aggression on X, you said, come on, guy, read the room. Dave responded, let's not pretend you read, Adam. To which you replied, I'm able to read scoreboards. You are losing big time. Do you still feel that? I mean, do you still feel that? Because I would argue that the scoreboards militarily absolutely would show that the United States and Israeli combined forces have inflicted enormous damage on Iran's military capability. I think that's inarguable. However, what I don't think has been properly factored in by the Americans and Israelis is the ability of Iran to wage an economic war in parallel to a military war. And that by controlling the Straits of Hormuz and by attacking, as they have done, their neighboring Gulf states, both oil refineries and tourist hotspots and so on, they've managed to freak everybody out, and they freak the global markets. And this is incredibly damaging to Donald Trump, because every day that Straits of Hormuz is shut, then you will see the impact for the next few weeks and months coming through the US economy and the global economy, but the US economy. You know, when fertilizer, when the impact of that being stopped comes through in a couple of months' time, it takes a while to cut through to the actual people of America. But it will, and when it does, it's going to be very damaging. Do you not think that the longer this goes on, the more of a miscalculation has been made here?
After doing an average of $1.65 million per month for the last 12 months.
Look, I'm not the Trump is the all be MAGA guy. I'm the guy that was like, yeah, I'm not so sure about this Trump guy. You know what? Oh, I got the fake news. Oh, Russia. Oh, it turns out, yeah, you know, he's way better than the other side. So I had to use logic and a measured approach to get me to the point where I'm like, he's the guy. So I'll ask you another question. Let's say Trump wasn't here. What's Kamala doing?
Oh, no,
So
don't
everything in
get me wrong.
politics is binary.
I think Kamala Harris would have been a terrible president. I thought Joe Biden was a
Okay.
terrible president. And I've always said with Trump, I think I find myself agreeing with some of the things he does and disagreeing with others, which I think is the right way to deal with Trump. I think if you just judge him on what comes
Well,
out of
that's
his mouth.
just like with anything, Pierce. You're not going to agree with everybody and disagree with that.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
and look, when I came on the PBD podcast, I loved it because we disagree about stuff, and you guys come on, we disagree, we agree, but we never fall out over it, nor should anybody, right? But on this specific call about Iran, I did say on day one, I think this is a massive gamble, and I don't understand the timing, and I think the capacity for this to go badly wrong is very high. The longer it has gone on, because Trump originally was like, this is over in days, then it's over in a couple of weeks, then everything started changing, then
Well, look, this was not an easy decision. You think, you know, these guys have been in power 47 years. Everybody in our microwave hustle society wants this done in the next 4 to 7 weeks. It's going to take some time.
Nah.
It's not an easy decision to make. Okay, so if it wasn't an easy decision to make, what was all the talk about they can't have a nuclear weapon? Because if they're about to have a nuke and we can't let them have it, that's not an easy decision, Adam.
Nah.
What do you think about this?
I think that there's things I want to say that I won't say, but I think that this
For sure.
that this guy is 1000% Israel first, and he will do anything and say anything to get the third temple. He's just another one of these guys that are part of the greater Israel project. And he doesn't care if we go into a forever war. He literally just said it. He said, oh, these people think it could happen in a couple days or a couple weeks. It's going to take a lot of time.
He says it like
he
it's
wants
a good
it.
thing.
No, yeah, he wants it. He wants it. Like it's all over his face what he wants, you know?
Okay, we'll go back to it.
We've already, I was talking to a good Navy SEAL buddy of mine, Navy SEAL. He said, dude, we've taken out 80% of their military capacity. Not bad in less than a month. So let the guy cook a little bit. So,
God.
Source, I totally made it up. I pulled that out of my ass. Source, oh, so they have 1 million man army. We killed 750,000 people.
Yeah, no, not even close, dude. It is literally, as we're on here, Israel's getting bombed right now. So
Yeah,
we didn't defeat shit.
We got more breaking news after this for sure. I'm gonna go back to it. Sorry to pause. It's just
You're
every
good.
sentence is a lie that we have to address.
You're good.
also talk about, Dave, that, oh, yeah, they had people out there pro-regime. Yeah, nobody's denying that 10 to maybe 20% max of the country is pro-regime. But what about the 80% of the country? That's like a...
Oh, my God.
Just total lies.
What?
Complete and it's just source. I made it up. Source. My Navy SEAL friend told me. And if you question him, then Navy SEAL knows all. That's an appeal to authority. That's a logical fallacy. Source. I made it up. Literally for everything he says. But then if you say, hey, hundreds of thousands of people have been killed in Gaza, he'll go, what's your source for that? What's your source for that? You can't prove that. You don't know that. And they'll fight you on every hill. They'll die on it when it comes to stuff like that. But when it comes to stuff like this, they just make it up.
They're so smug. He's such a smug prick.
He
Like,
thinks he's being smart. He thinks he's fooling people.
and this is why more than 70% of people in America are celebrating the bombs that are coming at Tel Aviv, because Israel's getting punched in their nose, and we're all celebrating it.
Yeah, and they started the fight. You can't complain when you start the fight.
Yeah, it's like walking up to the bully. Oh, sorry. No, I'm just saying it's like walking up to the bully, punching them in the face, and then expecting nothing to happen. It's like, no, you're getting your shit rocked, dude. Yeah, this guy's disgusting. Rage bait. For
show.
sure.
There was 100 people that magically showed up to Dave's comedy show. Oh my God, he has so many fans. Dude, there's 100,000 people outside that didn't go to the show. I'm not being like brutish or sarcastic, but just you're taking a small sample size and extrapolating that for the entire country. We all
well, actually,
know
just to be clear,
who this regime is.
Oh, hang on, Adam. Just
we
to be,
all know
hang on,
that this
Adam,
is a terrorist regime.
Just to
Go
be
ahead.
technically correct on that argument you're making, if 100 people turned up to watch Dave's show, then technically over 8 billion chose not to.
Correct, and that's pretty uniform at this point.
This is really making me feel bad about my numbers on the road.
It doesn't
here. I was feeling
necessarily
pretty
mean
good.
that
I've been
8
selling
billion
out shows.
people.
Yeah,
It
Dave,
doesn't
it's
mean there are 8
Dave,
billion people who
I also,
don't like
I
Dave
used to,
Smith.
I used to own a couple. No, it's fine. I mean, I actually do like Dave Smith. Let me tell you a Dave Smith story. I actually have respect for Dave Smith. But I realized who Dave Smith is. And I would say this to his face or on camera. Dave Smith is a radical libertarian. Don't take my word for it. You've said this multiple times. Have you not, Dave Smith?
Said what? That I'm a radical libertarian? Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Yes. Okay, perfect. So when you're something, when you're radical, what's another word
what
for?
I believe in? Well, what I believe
What's
in is
another word
true
for
Americanism.
radical? Extremist. Okay,
Yeah,
this is
these are
why
all-
you
these are all
call
relative
America,
terms.
This is why you call. Sure, this is why you call the U.S. military the greatest terrorist organization on earth, right? Because you're a true American, because you're a true patriot. Is that why, Dave? Because something tells me you have what is known as clickbait of the mouth, and you're using these instant.
So he's. I'm going to go back to it. He's saying that he has diarrhea of the mouth. He's abbreviating that saying. He's changing it into something else. All he's got are attacks. Even when he tries to couch it, make it sound cute, like that's an attack. I'm going to go back to it.
Yeah.
Says these wars to garner attention for you. You have the American flag behind you, yet you have the hypocrisy of saying the United States military, United States is the greatest terror organization the world has ever seen. I mean, I don't understand what's going on here. This is why you're radical.
I didn't say.
So by the way,
Well, I
speaking of radical,
tell you what. Hang on. Just to be fair to Dave, let's replay what he actually said on this show, which caused all the furore, led by Ben Shapiro. We'll play what he said, and I'll play what Shapiro said about it, and then we'll come back to Dave for a response.
The IDF is the worst terrorist organization in the region. Let's get real. The United States of America is arguably the worst terrorist organization in the world. If you want to look over the last 25 years, how many innocent civilians we've slaughtered.
It doesn't matter, it turns out, how many times you appear on Joe Rogan's show or how many times you hide behind your title of comedian who holds the Guinness Book of World Records for fewest jokes told, or how many times you spew puerile analogies that demonstrate nothing but unbelievable, willful ignorance of the nature of war. I'm sorry, but you hate the country if you say
you hate the country if you criticize the wars that we want you to get into. I mean, these people have just you can't say that they have that they don't have an ulterior motive. They wear a hat. Like it's crazy to me.
And it's tiny.
It's wild. These people want to tell us how to run our government so it best serves a place thousands of miles away that hates us.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we have a serious problem in this country by allowing these people to have a voice at all.
Well, they can't influence policy. They cannot influence policy. It can't be allowed. If you are a Zionist, if you prioritize the state of Israel over the state of America, I heard Ivan Ranklin make this point. It's not even MIGA. It's America second.
Yes.
These people are all America second. That's what they believe in.
Yeah, they're Israel first, no question.
America is the worst terrorist organization in the world. You just do. Now, I know that Dave Smith is super duper excited that his name was mentioned here. And he's sitting there shouting at his TV screen in his basement, "Debate me, bro." To which I answer, nah. I don't debate with trolls who claim that America is the biggest terrorist state in the world because that is idiotic.
So, Dave, as you know, that all blew up. A lot of debate raged about it. Just, I mean, clarify what you meant. Do you regret phrasing it the way you did? Just give us a bit more meat on the bone.
No, I don't regret phrasing it the way I did, and I'll be very clear about what I'm saying. I will point out that it's quite something for Ben Shapiro. Just since you played him, I got to respond to him first.
Course.
That he goes, "Oh, I just won't debate with this guy because this is so beyond the pale." Ben Shapiro made his name debating 19-year-old communist Maoists who were confused about their gender. So somehow, Pierce, we're going to have to believe here that I'm so much less serious than the children who Ben Shapiro made a career debating. I loved your response to him where you pointed out some of the goofy segments that he does on his show. I mean, personally, I really stay away from that stuff. And, for Adam, I think to say it's clickbait or that I just want to get out in front of the camera, I think we're all equally in front of a camera right now. And it's kind of weird to accuse someone else. I very much believe the things I'm saying.
Dave,
now, to Adam's point,
Dave,
hold
don't run from the comment.
Because there's a
don't
bunch.
run from your comment.
I'm trying to
address
get to
the
it, but
comment,
there's a
not
lot
Ben
here.
Shapiro, would you? Good.
Yes,
let's go. Wrap it up.
No, I'm going to make the points I want to make.
You called the United States military.
You're just slowing. Okay, so
you called the United States military the greatest terror organization in the world.
Adam,
defend.
Just let me answer. No problem. I'm going to go back to the order I was going to go in. To Adam's point, when Adam says I'm a radical libertarian and I say that this is true Americanism, I mean, look, my favorite founding father is Thomas Paine. Not everyone considers him a founding father. And maybe I love him so much because he never held a government position and didn't own slaves, which I thought was pretty cool. But Benjamin Franklin said he was the most consequentialist and the one person most responsible for the United States of America existing. His famous pamphlet that he wrote was called Common Sense. And I think on the first or second line of it, he says, government is at best a necessary evil. So at best, he's like, this is clearly on the anarchist to night watchman state spectrum was what true Americanism was when it started. Now, for me to say what I made the point, and I've made this point a million times on your show, Pierce, I was saying when people come on and say Iran is the biggest state sponsor of terrorism, well, just like give me an objective definition of what terrorism means, and then let's apply that standard universally. And if you're going to sit here and say, look, America has given billions, tens of billions of dollars to the IDF in the last few years. We've also, by the way, given a lot of weapons and money. Your first guest on this show there, the head of the Obama deep state, was using Al-Qaeda, bin Ladenite head choppers on the ground in Libya and in Syria. And yes, Adam, I would also consider it when our politicians lie us into wars that slaughter millions of innocent people and in many cases target those innocent people. I consider that terrorism as well. There's the answer, Adam. And if you want to keep doing this, buddy, you could tell me to check the scoreboard. I'll run circles around you on this, dude. Check the scoreboard. Most unpopular war in American history going in. Check the scoreboard. 13 dead Americans and 150 plus other wounded. Thousands of innocents, including little schoolgirls in Iran, killed. Dead innocent Israelis. Hundreds of dead innocent people in Lebanon. Millions of innocent people being displaced, all at the cost of tens of billions of dollars and destroying Trump's coalition. Check your scoreboard, Adam. How's it looking for you?
This AI can forecast U.S. stock prices to the penny. This is where it says NVIDIA stock will close tomorrow.
Okay, Dave. Okay, it's not
cooked.
That's about as brutal as it gets.
Cooked. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, he just cut him down. That was. I would like to say I would do the same. I would not be able to execute it that flawlessly. That was perfect, and it's completely unemotional too. And that's what like Adam is all wrapped up in emotion. His whole narrative is built on the evil religious Nazis. This is a holy war. We got to do it. We got to get them out. Small price to pay. And Dave Smith lays out, no, it's not a small price. It's everything.
Yeah. He's in the flow state. He can't be touched.
Yeah. Let's see Adam's response. How does he come back from a flogging like that?
Not working well for you, Dave, because
substantively
you're
respond
still
to any
saying
of that,
the
Adam.
United States. You're saying the United States is a terrorist organization.
Repeating it over and over. His
Kvetching.
It's like Titanic when they crash and it's just the freezing water and got someone holding onto a plank. Yeah. That's what you're going to die of hypothermia anyway. There's no way out of this one, buddy.
Yeah, it's horrible.
You've already lost the debate. You live in America, tough guy. You have the luxury of sitting in your little studio with your hooded sweater like you're 17 years old. The regime, you mean all American president?
I'm 17
Who's your favorite president in the last 50 years?
Adam, I'm
Who's
17 years
who's
old.
your favorite president in the last 50
I have a wife and children. Who depends on you, Adam? Your mom?
Okay, I also
Yeah,
have
I mean, if you want to make it personal,
other, so you want to
if
go personal?
you have a significant
Dave,
other.
we can
Okay.
go as
Anyway,
personal as we can go.
No, I'm
you have-
trying not to.
We can go as personal as you
Substantively
want.
respond to one.
Is he
thing,
gay?
I don't care, Dave.
Adam, some substance.
I don't care.
I know, because you don't know anything.
Dave, you're a radical.
So move on. So
Okay.
stop picking a fight with me, dude. You don't
Dave.
know anything about anything. You're Pat's guy.
I know.
And I
Dave,
like
here's
you,
what
dude. I like you. I
Here's
like
what I'm
your
gonna tell
show.
you.
I respect Pat.
Dave, okay, Zay, zip
And
it.
Vinny.
Here we go. I'll talk now for a second. I'm defending the military right now. You're basically saying that all our boys that go to the military are all terrorists. That's what you're saying.
No.
You're equating that the United States of America, the IDF, are the equivalent of ISIS and Al Qaeda. By the way, I also used to respect you until you went on a little podcast called Coleman Hughes. What happened on that podcast, Dave? This is the problem. I'll tell you a
Why
quick
don't you
story.
do it right
When I
now,
moved to-
Adam?
when I-
Why don't you do it?
I'll do it right now, Dave. I'll do it right
Go
now.
for
Because
it.
here's what Dave is. Here's Dave Smith. By the way, 1% of Americans vote for libertarians every year. So you're trying to basically say that you know more than the average American. 1% of Americans vote for your people, Dave. Why don't you run for something? Why don't you stand for something? You stand for nothing.
Okay, can I respond? Again, Pierce, this is the level of substance.
No. Here we go. I'm going to tell you a story, Dave, and then you can respond. Because this is where I lost respect for you as a debater. Because I was like, oh, this guy, Dave, he actually knows some stuff. He's doing his thing. And then you showed up on Coleman Hughes' podcast. Pierce, do you know who Coleman Hughes is?
I do. He's been on the show.
I've been on the show with him.
Perfect. That's this guy right here, just in case, if the camera doesn't see.
But what is the point you're making?
I watched this podcast. The point is this. Dave gets out there and he tries to bully people and say that he's so smart. He reads a lot of books. Good for you, Dave. But what happens when you read it to somebody, run into somebody who's way smarter and bullies the bully? I remember growing up in this town of Miami. So there was this kid that used to pick on all the kids that we went to school with. And one day some new kid showed up and he goes, oh, yeah. Let's go, buddy. Let's do this. And the bully goes, oh, what do you mean? What do you want to do? And he goes, no, yeah, you want to fight everybody? You want to take everybody's lunch? Let's go. And the new kid beat the crap out of the bully. And here's what happened with Dave. He's out there just doing his little podcast.
None of this is an argument. None of it matters. None of it's important because he doesn't have an argument. And Dave's like laughing.
Yeah, it's all ad hominems. It's
It's like when
ridiculous.
Tito Ortiz is in that press conference with Chael Sonnen, and he's like, this reminds me of watching Christopher Walken with the lion and the old lion sitting there, and they try to mess with him, they try to put him down. The old lion stands and he's like forgets how to tell the story, and Chael's like, tell us another lion story about Christopher Walken. Like, that's such a great line, but that's what this is. This is
So
nothing.
true.
This is nothing at all.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
But we play it because this is a cardinal. This is how you argue against these people. It's very important for people to see this. I'll play the rest of it.
Thing, debating, like you said, Ben Shapiro, 19-year-olds. And then all of a sudden, this whole conversation about Wesley Clark, and I saw him on your podcast about a week ago, Pierce, and this memo, here you go, Dave. Remember this memo from Wesley Clark that you used to cite everything?
This is a
It should say the raped on it, and it should have an arrow pointing to him. That's crazy, man. So Wesley Clark, when he said it in the early 2000s that they had a plan to take over 7 countries in 5 years, Adam is just making up out of whole cloth that that's fake.
He's on money though. He was right. Wesley Clark was completely right.
We're not allowed to say that. That's anti-Semitic.
It's truth.
You're not allowed to say that.
You used to cite, yeah, that is adorable because your whole
when do I get to
foundation is
respond?
based on some memo.
Well,
Your whole
I'm not
foundation
quite
is
sure
based on some memo.
Adam, I'm not quite sure what is the point you're making.
The point is this: Dave has zero credibility at this point. Dave has zero credibility.
Well, you
at
don't
this
really
point.
get to decide
And he
that.
ran
You know,
into
the
somebody
audience gets
that
to decide
completely
that.
bullied. What audience?
Okay.
The four
Well,
people
can
that
I-
show up
can
to
I
your comedy
respond?
show at the
Yeah. Okay, Dave. You respond.
Okay. Can I respond now? Because I listened while.
I mean,
you
the
said
question I'd
nothing
ask
there.
you, Dave. The question I'd ask you, Dave, is the way that you're.
Well, let me respond to some of that.
I
Pierce.
will.
mean,
Yeah,
this-
but I just want to ask you, just on a general level.
How are you going to respond to what Coleman Hills did to you? There was like a body bag after that debate.
Let him respond.
Well, you ain't doing nothing,
Go
bro.
for it.
You're sitting here talking about what another man did.
You've already been in a body
Anyway.
bag, Dave. I'm here to clean up the scraps.
Okay, let me just ask Dave this, which is, as you know, the comment you made about America being a terrorist state and so on, that went pretty viral. Do you understand why a lot of people got very angry about the perceived equivalence between America and terror organizations like ISIS, like Al Qaeda, and so on?
Yeah, no, well, listen, I mean, there's no question that the head
I don't think he does, but go ahead.
Hey, Adam, I mean, just let me talk now. I understand all you can do here is interrupt and hold up props
Go
or
ahead.
something, but let me make a few good points.
I'm just, you said that America's a
I
terrorist
know.
organization. You've already lost the debate. Go ahead.
No, I haven't actually, and that's not, you don't really get to decide in the middle of the debate whether I have. It's who moves people more than the other one is really, I guess, the metric. But
You're
at least that's the point
1%
of why we're doing it.
libertarian. You're really moving people. You're really moving people.
I mean, Adam, I understand this will just be your tactic for the rest of it because you're out of and you're just out of your depth. But here, okay, yes, actually, I didn't vote for the Libertarian nominee.
Go ahead,
Donald
buddy.
Trump came to the Libertarian Party convention and tried to convince a lot of us to support him. And I'm one of the people who did. And now I'm one of the people who's criticizing this policy. Now, in terms of, obviously, Pierce, it's a provocative statement. I know that when I make it. And I'm not claiming that the American military men are the equivalent of ISIS or Al Qaeda. Obviously, they're much more barbaric. These head choppers, the one who Leon Panetta and Barack Obama all sold weapons to and partnered with, and the one who Donald Trump recognized as the president of Syria. I'm not saying that one isn't more barbaric than the other. I'm simply making the point, Pierce, that if you define terrorism as targeting civilians in order to affect a political change, then by that objective definition, the U.S. military and the IDF are more guilty of it than anyone else over the last 25 years.
Their
And if someone wants to argue with me,
their argument is
All right.
always that the U.S. military and the IDF.
You got something?
Yeah, he's completely right.
Yeah.
Like you can't
And
argue
that's
this at
called
all.
being Ideologically consistent. And to be fair, Adam is too. You know, he's loyal to Israel, so he's also being ideologically consistent. Even if he's lying, you know, he's doing Hasbro. He's doing it in service to the greater goal.
Yeah.
Their temple.
Yeah, for sure.
Do not deliberately target civilians.
yes, Pierce, but again,
No,
but Pierce, we've been through this.
I'm just saying,
I get
for the
that,
benefit of
but
fairness,
that's not
this
true.
is their argument.
Listen.
Whereas the difference being that genuine terror groups like ISIS, like Al Qaeda, they deliberately and brazenly target civilians for political purposes.
Pierce, when you have roaming blackouts for 9 days in Cuba.
We've done enough of this. We spent enough time on it. Don't want to make people watch that all the time. We got breaking news and breaking developments. I'm going to go ahead and go to a couple of these things here. Where was the other one? I had something. Do you have any breaking news, Anthony?
I said a bunch here, DM.
Okay. Give me about 30 seconds here to cue this up. If you want to talk to the audience for a little bit.
I mean, it's just such rage bait to even watch these people, you know, like just the smugness and just who they really think they are, you know, like it really takes a real scumbag to try to prop up a war for Israel and then turn it around on the people that are actually fighting for the noble cause of what America was established and built for. You know, like he made the Thomas Paine analogy. Like America was built on rebellion, not government. Government is supposed to work for us. The government has gone completely rogue. So by him saying these things that America is a terrorist organization, that the military, he's 100% on the money. And this Adam guy is just kvetching. He's losing his marbles because the consensus of people don't want this war. So everybody in this pro-Israel lobby that is trying to fight this, like you said, Hasbro propaganda to make Americans feel like we need to fight this war. This is getting very close to a situation where a false flag is going to have to happen because the morale is so low. Like they're
Sure.
losing everything. They're losing every debate. People like there's never been a lower morale for people to support Israel than ever before. And the boomer crowd that is still supporting it, they're kind of dying off, dude. Like
Yes.
it's pretty much over for Israel at this point. So to have
Yeah,
this
I looked
guy,
up. I looked up when the last boomer would turn 90. It's 2054. That's really not that far away. And it's the drop off will be a lot more steep than you have to wait till 90. And we don't want
yeah,
anyone to die. We have people in our audience that are older. Like, we love you. But ultimately, here's the thing, there is a glass ceiling on the American political system that is the older population that was raised on Schofield Bible, Zionist theology, replacement or dispensationalist theology. And with these people, ultimately, they're pro genocide.
yeah.
So, yes, like, we are looking forward to a time where people that are not totally just pro genocide are outweighing the voice of literally everyone else in the American population, not just in the voting, because of course they're overrepresented in that, but in the political donations to these evil organizations like the ADL, APAC, and others that have really destroyed America. It's a lot of these rich older people.
Yeah, and that's why like these people that debate for the side of Israel, they have to go straight ad hominem. They have to attack the character of the person. They have to like try to find some little straw to grasp at to try to take down the credibility of them, to make them like, oh, you should have listened to this guy. Oh, he got beat up by this guy. It's like, what, bro? What are you talking about? That's like somebody, right? It's like somebody shoots the fair one with somebody, right? And then he gets knocked out, and then one of his boys run up and step on the guy's head. Like that's what this guy, that's the analogy basically that this guy's using. I'm coming to get the scraps. You already got beat. I'm here to embarrass you. Like what, dude?
It's like a little kid pretending to be Superman, so he jumps off the roof and gets brain damage. Like,
Like
that's
what?
that's what it is. But look at what's going on. This is breaking. This happened an hour ago, apparently.
Yeah.
A dozen people have just been killed in Israel after Iranian missiles struck a pedestrian area.
How's that possible?
So,
How's that possible?
what?
How's that possible?
I don't know.
I thought there's no missiles.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right. There are no missiles, so it's a ghost missile. They made it up. Maybe it's like where they're claiming the Iranians bombed their own school, and maybe the Israelis bombed themselves.
Ah, okay. Iron
And
Dome
this
failure.
this was the big thing. This was the big one. So Iran, their counter demands to Trump's demands: closure of all the U.S. bases, no further attacks, end to Israeli strikes on Hezbollah and Lebanon, lifting of all sanctions in Iran, war damage reparations, no restrictions on the nuclear program, a new order for the Strait of Hormuz that would allow Iran to collect fees from ships that transit the waterway, as Egypt does now with the Suez Canal, guarantees that the war wouldn't restart, and end to Israel's strikes on the Iran-aligned Lebanese militia Hezbollah, lifting all sanctions on Iran, permitting Iran to keep its missile program with no negotiations to limit it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
We'll
As a
track it
sovereign
as
nation.
we'll track it as it develops. I'm pretty wiped out, bro.
No, you're good. Yeah. We could cut it. We could cut it.
Okay. Well, I wanna just run through this really quick. So we got that. We got a ton of new attacks.
Yeah, that was at a hotel in
Hotel.
Iraq.
U.S. personnel possibly hosted there, and then we got more. Sorry, yeah, I'm running out of steam here, and I got to prep in the morning. If you guys want to see me, I'll be on at 8 a.m. American Journal.
For
Me and Tim
sure.
Tompkins holding it down. Really appreciate you, Anthony, as always, for doing the conspiracy talks with me. We need to set up the YouTube. I have it. I have everything made. We need to just make the launch. Let's get professional this week. Let's connect
Let's do
outside of
it.
the show. In closing, you got anything else you want to say to the audience?
No, they just appreciate it. You know, we're gonna keep on watching the development as it goes. And then when this thing does slow down, we will go back to watching the OG Alex Jones stuff because that's fun too.
Yes. Oh no, we're gonna do all of that. Thank you so much, Anthony. Really appreciate you, bro.
Of course, bro. I'll see you next Tuesday.
Indeed. Thank you so much.
All right,
So
later.
I'll be on live for you guys tomorrow, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. I'll be live. I am so beat. And I'm trying to do this kind of like, it's like anything where you like train to do it to get better. And it's just like the more I talk, the more I cover the news, the more I consume information, the better I get at delivering it to you, having a good time while I do it, making sure you have a good time as well. I want this to be an experience for you. This is an art form for me. This isn't something I just go sit in the studio or whatever. I truly want to be a great broadcaster like my father and many others before him and around him. I've always been impressed with it. And I like having fun. I like creating a chill room where we can all hang out and discuss these things because I think it's very important. It's also very important to realize that I don't have a bend towards any political ideology or political party. I take the best ideas from the left and the right because I reject those labels. We're not donkeys. We're not elephants. We're human beings. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. I just want to let y'all know we got to break that paradigm. We got to be post duopoly. And anyone who's like spouting a narrative about you have to be MAGA, you have to be this, you have to be that. How about I just have to be an American? How about I have to be a Christian? How about I have to be a human being? How about that? But we don't hear that. So all these people, whether it's that Adam guy or just other guys in general, it's not just can't you see how the propaganda is just not worth it at the end of the day? It's really not worth it. But I want to do this plug. I will get some rest. I'll tell you what I'll be taking. I will be taking knockout sleep support. So a lot of y'all that are watching may be Classic Infowars listeners. Let me tell you, this product has sold, if you're not a Classic Infowars listener, this product has sold hundreds of thousands of units. It is the best sleep supplement on the market. I reformulated a classic blend. It's got about 7 to 8 different things in here that are all taken separately. You take them all at once to get this amazing effect. It's got the melatonin, it's got the GABA, it's got the L-theanine, it's got the magnesium, it's got blue chamomile, hops flower, lemon balm, valerian root. I may be missing one or L-tryptophan. L-tryptophan. But I've been taking this sleep blend since I was a little kid. I sleep pretty good. I think pretty good. It was so good that when I ran out of it and I looked at the market, I was like, I got to bring this back to you people. You're like, I needed it too. So I brought it back. I'm really proud to be able to have this because this was one of the many products that was taken away from us that I thought I'd never be able to sell again. And they wanted to tell us that we couldn't be proud of the great things we made for people. We couldn't be proud of the wonderful things we've done, in my view. I completely reject that. I've got a ton of different supplement stores. I don't want to show them all to y'all tonight, although I have many times before. I'll do a quick rundown too. But if you're interested, I've got Alpha Power, Classic Infowars Life testosterone product. I've got Brain Force Plus on here. I've got Knockout Sleep Support. I've got all these phenomenal tinctures, these herbal tinctures, really strong. Got a sore throat, want ashwagandha, want beautiful skin. I've got things for any and everything related to that. I've also got the Shroom Force products on here from shroomforce.com. Ultimate Cordyceps, Reishi, Maidenhair, Ashwagandha, Golden Root, that's a Viking herb, and then Ultimate Lion's Mane, really good for your brain. So I've got that. But really, what I'm here to tell you about today, if you're interested in it, this is the best product on the market for the best price in the market. You're not going to find anywhere else where you're going to get something other than like a bottle of like plain melatonin for this price. And even then, it won't be good quality. This is the best quality around, made in Texas, shipped in Texas. This isn't a thing where I pitch these products to you and it's like I have a white labeler that makes it for me and I have a warehouse in Colorado or whatnot. I have a warehouse in Leander. I have a wonderful woman named Trish who's my forewoman and works there and does pick and pack for me right now. We used to have a lot more business. The people that bought DJN, Dr. Jones Naturals, my granddad's website, I was doing fulfillment for that company. They pulled away from me because they could do it a little bit cheaper. So I have problems with my rent right now. I have problems with my payroll. If you want to contribute to American manufacturing, we make the supplements up in Dallas. If you want to contribute to American shipping, we ship them right here in Leander, right here in the Austin, Greater Round Rock area type of place. If you want to contribute to American ingenuity, me making more of these products, giving you what you want, what you need, bringing the classics back, there's no better place to go than 50percentoff.com. And if you want, just subscribe to it. If you want a new sleep supplement, if you want to try it, or if you just take one already, that would probably be the best sell. Like if you're already taking something, look at the price, do an analysis, look at the ingredients. Like I told you, melatonin, valerian root, hops flower, lemon balm, GABA, L-theanine, tryptophan, everything you need for a wonderful night's sleep. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight. I really love and appreciate you guys. And if you choose to go to 50percentoff.com and check out the supplements or the sleep product, I really appreciate it. Every little bit counts right now for me. I'm really making an effort to plug now. I used to be ashamed to plug, and I felt like I was, bothering you guys with it. I've got to do it. I love everything I do. I got to pay my rent. So if you want to help me continue the show and just continue to exist as an American small businessman, check out 50percentoff.com. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate you. Peace out. And I'll be hosting tomorrow. Catch me 8 a.m. American Journal. I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. They're a bunch of Christian murdering scum running giant death factories, keeping babies alive and selling their body parts. What more do you know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green looking skin and they run around screaming, "We love Satan. We want to eat babies." I have them on video. Hillary's into creepy, weird, sick stuff, man. She sleeps in the same room with that creepy, weirdo woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. What the hell? That woman number one is ugly. Imagine how bad she smells, man. I'm told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. Literal vampire pot-bellied goblins are hobbling around, coming after us. My spirit gets close to that evil and I feel it go, ah, ah, ah. We're such self-centered crap. We don't even realize hell itself is rising up against us. Millions of people are pouring in, people of the very worst kind, and I'm so pissed. They gonna stab your daughter at the mall. Oh, oh, ooh. They gonna stab your wife, your son. Ooh. They gonna stab him with a butcher knife. And the police chief is gonna say, "We love our Somalis. We love our Muslims. Oh, they so good. Oh, they so sweet."
Modern life has left us out of balance. Long ago it was once said, certain remedies could grant a man the vitality of a horse. For over 6,000 years, these natural remedies have been harvested and tested by generations. Why create complex formulas when nature's roots are still in our hands? Try Primal Core. Ancient remedies for modern life.